to people, then that's good training too.
Oh, it is. I think it's honestly better. I mean, because skills is skills, you know. Like, it's actually... Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome back to TBM Episode 2. I'm your host, Gunnar Michelli. All right, guys. Today, I got a special guest from Nacogdoches Fire, Lee Mendez. Lee, introduce yourself, my man. Tell us about you, brother.
Well, been with Nacogdoches Fire for about 5 years now, and before that, I was with the Marine Corps for just about 9 years.
Yeah, one of my Marine brothers. So, we come on a day and we wanted to talk about some different stuff, kind of keep it out of firefighting, like kind of just like, I want to talk about your military career. We'll talk about mine because people's been messaging me and stuff about it as well. And so kind of tell us your military career history, like what units you was in and stuff like that.
So my career was kind of a strange one just because the way I was introduced into the fleet, for those that don't know, is going into the fleet, you actually go to your first unit after completing boot camp and your MOS training, then you get assigned to a actual unit. So once I did that, I trained as a 0311 rifleman.
Yeah.
But I got assigned to 1-4, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines Weapons Company, which is pretty strange, right?
Whoa, that's crazy.
Riflemen, what they started doing was they started integrating riflemen into the weapons company, and they called it a MAP,
So
Mobile Assault Platoons.
Oh, so it's mechanized, y'all.
Yeah.
And what was y'all's kind of role there? Was it?
It's both dismounted and mounted patrols. So
I got you. And would they have y'all driving and stuff, or would y'all just be riding hot seat?
No, we would be riding gib, guys in the back, and also driving or gunning. So what they did was they integrated the riflemen and sent them to division schools at 1st Marine Division. Mm-hmm. They such as the mortarman course division school, and then the machine gunners. So I got the opportunity to go to the machine gun course.
Oh, really? Advanced machine guns?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
bro, and that's the thing about that, man. You could be cross-trained in all of them. And that's like, man, at least for us, weapons company, like, it was always a fight for the line companies to get the good deployments, but weapons companies, no matter what they do, they're going to get the good stuff, But there's just a lot of value in that because, you're mechanized during all these training evolutions, you're riding as we're humping our fucking life away, like.
You're creating a better Marine, a better infantry Marine that way, cross-training them with mortarmen, the FOs, the machine guns, the tow gunners and assault men, everything like that. You're teaching them a little bit of everything so they can assist those guys, the specialty skills, and complete the mission a little bit better.
So, but y'all wasn't you was really attached to him. It wasn't just a temporary thing for deployment.
No. I was assigned to weapons company.
Wow.
Right off the bat.
And you deploy with them guys and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yeah. So you went to Iraq.
I went to Iraq. And,
did you ever go to Afghanistan?
No, we did. 1-4 didn't go to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So.
How many times you went to Iraq?
We did it twice, but I was there from 07 was the first deployment, and 08 to 09.
I got you.
So.
I got you. And you deployed with 1-4. Where was you operating out of?
So we were out of Camp Porno, which is on Camp Pendleton.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. About overseas?
Al-Qaim was the first one, and then we were outside Fallujah on the second deployment.
Yeah, kinetic battleground.
A little bit, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, by the time I went to Fallujah, man, the battle had already been over, and so I wasn't part of the actual invasion of Fallujah. When they rolled through with everything. And
bro, did you know of Matthew Johnson?
Matthew Johnson,
Sergeant Johnson.
I can't say that I do now.
Really, he's in 1-4. He's a lieutenant, or he's probably a major now.
Really?
Yeah, he was in 1-4. I want to say he did a deployment near there as well.
Really?
He was a Mustang force. He was my first lieutenant when I was in suicide.
Okay.
But I know he was in 1-4. I probably know some people that you were with.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I probably know a few from
Who
here.
are still in? People that you know.
People that I know, man.
Could you use in for 10 years?
Almost 10 years. 9. I did. Let's see. Guys that are still in from my first deployment, man. Pretty much everybody's out from my first deployment. Yeah. If not, they're already getting out or about to get out.
Probably about to retire.
Yeah, retire, man. Live that good life.
Yeah, dude. So going kind of a little history about me. I was I went to boot camp in San Diego, probably like you. Went to ITB in Pendleton.
Yep.
Then then I went to 29 Palms
Okay.
for with suicide.
The stumps, man.
The stump, dude. Man, stumps gets a bad rap, bro.
I think it's just the place, man. But honestly, in my opinion, the best combat trained Marines come from 29 Palms.
And yeah, we pride ourselves in that too. Just because, I mean, dude, it's like, range 400 and stuff, dude. That's all the time for us.
Yeah.
All the time. And even going to, the mountain towns and stuff like that around
Exactly. I mean, it's readily available to you guys right there.
Yeah.
And then for us, it's hard to get that kind of training, that realistic training, because you have the actors and everything that role play everything and do that. So it's a little more accessible for the units that are out there than it is for the guys over in Camp Pendleton.
But at Camp Pendleton, what's that range where you do sim training with the they got like speakers in there and stuff, and it's like
honestly,
it's
I can't
there.
remember. I think it's by the Reaper or something like that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Dude, that was a fun place, bro.
Yeah.
When I went to ULC, we went out there too. ULC was by far the funnest course in the Marine Corps, bro. It's just me and my friends. It's a 2-week course, but it's really it's structured, but it's really just like to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's just, bro, the whole deal was just us shooting each other with sim rounds. And it was so fun, man. We would get crazy with it, the Hot 4 and stuff. Dude, I remember my buddy Rocky, bro. He was stacking upside the house that me and my team was in. We was Hot 4, whatever. And it was about to breach, and I had a little crack in the window like that. And I stuck I seen his neck like right here. I stuck my barrel on near his neck, and I started shooting.
You got him
point
good.
Blank.
You got him good, because those hurt so bad.
Dude, he was screaming, man. He was screaming. I was dying laughing, but but also we had short days there, and we'd go tear Pacific Beach up and stuff, bro. We shut it down.
Yeah.
But man, so you was in Horno,
Right.
In Horno and stuff. How was the San Diego life?
Man, it was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did you party much or?
Honestly, no, I didn't. Just how you know me, how I am.
Yeah,
now,
you're very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet. I don't like really going out. I mean, I did go out a few times, and I think that's why I started backing away from people, just because of the guys I went out with. And I do remember some of the times that I did go out, man, it'd get pretty crazy.
Bro.
Any Marine you go out with.
Oh, dude, I'm saying
crazy.
it's lucky for me to be alive, bro. Because the stories that I have with my buddies, my buddy Haran, dude, that everyone knows, bro. He's literally crazy.
Yeah.
And bro, every weekend we went somewhere, and we got kicked out of USC for fighting the college, and so we also in Big Bear we got wrapped up in the San Bernardino Cartel.
Oh man.
And it was always something, bro. It was always something with my little clique, but we had a great time.
That's good, man.
Yeah, I was down in Big Bear, bro. Can't remember what happened, but people got mad at us, and it turned into a fight. And next thing you know, my buddies, they're pulling up Tahoes and stuff, trying to bring people in there, and we had to bounce. My buddy came in my Jeep and whipped us and got us in, and we hauled ass.
You still talk to the guys?
Oh man, yeah, I do, man. And I had talked to two of my buddies the other day, and I was heading to Fort Worth, and we had some long conversations. Man, I really feel them. Here recently we had my team leader killed himself. Back in February on his birthday, and one of the reasons why he killed himself is because no one ever checked on him. Yeah, I've come to find out, and he felt like no one, he was just forgot about. He was going through some financial troubles. He just got a DUI and stuff, but it kind of crushed him. And
right,
and I have another buddy that kept in touch with his family, and I don't know if he left a suicide note or what. I really don't know that detailed, but I just know that one of the influences that made him kill himself was because we never checked on him. He was with me on my first deployment to Afghan. He was an awesome individual, bro. He worked hard and stuff like that. He was always a team player. He was never left out. And dude, his life it's rough, It is rough. We was talking about this earlier. That transition out, it's hard.
It is tough.
And going into talking about that, and going back to your question, I talk to a few of them every now and then, but I don't talk to them like I should, And as we talk about transition, how was your transition? You spent a lot of time in the Marine Corps, way more time than I did. And I knew it was probably really hard to transition that into civilian life. No matter what, it's switched, bro. You're a Marine, we're all Marines forever, blah, blah, blah. But you're in the Marine Corps, then the next day you're civilian.
Right.
And there's really no transitioning process from that. It's just you're thrown out there to drown. And kind of, how did you take that?
Honestly, I was lost for a little while because you know you spend so many years doing something that you love. As far as the people that you work with and the guys and everything, and the good times and the bad. The times you've suffered during training or overseas or whatever. You keep that with you, and you build that brotherhood up, and so one day you're just like, now you got to get out, whether it's you're forced out or you have to leave for any other reason, medically, or it's your time's up. I told myself, because I wanted to keep doing it. I wanted to keep deploying, just like we had talked about. You want to go to combat, you want to prove yourself, you want to do all these things. I told myself, after that first deployment when I got hurt, I was like, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to get married. So this is what I'm going to do, to live this lifestyle. Because at the time, to me, just a little backstory, is just like, after that happened, I didn't want to have the responsibility of leaving a family behind, because to me, and some people might take it the wrong way, but I don't mean it in any disrespect or anything like that, but it's kind of selfish of me to do that to somebody when that's what I wanted to do.
Oh, bro, and dude, I'm glad you said that, because I felt the same way, man. Because bro, I don't want to laugh about this because it's really fucked up. But my buddies, y'all comment on this show and validate what I say. But I was praying that we'd get overrun and just like, essentially we all died in combat just because like I was so stupid. Just because
that's like you think when you're young, that's the way you want to go out. You want to boots on the ground, fighting side by side with your boys in a gunfight.
Yeah.
That's how you want to go. Because you haven't lived that rest of the life to see anything good past all that. But once I got married and I had my daughter, I was like, or we found out we were expecting, I had something more to live for than just the guys and doing that. So I was when we found out, I was like, okay, I'm done, and last enlistment, I got to get out. I didn't know what I was going to do. Before that, I'd worked concrete with my dad and my brother growing up all those years, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't like it. I mean, the money's good. Pouring concrete, having your own business, doing that's a lot of money. It's good money.
Your brother makes a lot of money.
He does, and I'm proud of him for doing that, and he's done very well for himself, but that's not the life that I chose for myself, and I couldn't see myself going back to something that I didn't love. And it's kind of like when you see a lion in a cage, it's like you see the spirit, he's just dead. He's just waiting for that day to when he's done. He checks out. And so I started doing the transition program. I started doing all the paperwork. You know how it goes, going through the military, getting all the signatures, trying to get out and everything like that. Finally did it. I came home and I was like at a loss for words. And I was like, told my wife, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna maybe try go to school or something. And then Chad Mason was like, bro, why don't you come do EMT course with me? And you can do the fire, because at the time he had already completed the fire academy. And he's like, the GI Bill pays for it. Go do that. And I was like, okay, I'll go do that. And it was of all people, that's who I listened to.
For real?
No, man, Chad's a good dude, man. He's a good brother, man.
I love him, man. I love him.
He's crazy, but I love him too, man. No, but we went through the course, and I was like, man, this is kind of like some of the CLS stuff that you do in the Marine Corps. So I was like, getting into it. It's like, heck yeah, man. Packing wounds, doing CPR, doing the small stuff. And then they're like, okay, now the fire academy. I start doing that. I did it. I excelled pretty good at it. I got, highest GPA, honor grad, all that in there. I was like, cool. Now I'm going to go do paramedic. Complete the course, and I'm doing like IOs, IVs, everything, that you probably learned in the Marine Corps too, through CLS. Your corpsman teaches you, okay, here, come stick this guy.
It was always in the Ranger when we was drunk. It never really showed us outside of us being drunk.
God bless Doc.
But so man, that's kind of like, so Travis Zinko, he's a really good buddy of mine, and it's kind of what influenced me, because him and Bubba has been firemen for a long time now, and Wynn rode out with Travis Zinko prior to going to the Marines, and came back and like I was still in conversation with them, stuff like that. So I had like a couple more conversations with them. I'm like, you know what, I'm doing it. So literally like the week that I got out, like I went and started Fire Academy, and then I finished Fire Academy. Like, dude, I might as well go get my paramedics, so and use a GI Bill and whatnot. And so I went and did that. We got my paramedic, and which I'm glad I did.
Yeah. It makes you so much more marketable to other fire departments,
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you ever want to move or go to a different department or just, stay where you're at, you're that much more of an asset to that department.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because like it was a transition where like I thought everyone was going to go paramedic eventually, but now we're having such a retention problem. I think that kind of put that on hold. I think a lot of departments now are like, they don't know if they can make everyone go be a paramedic.
Yeah.
And so I think that that process.
But
is
you
halted.
going out on your own initiative to go do it and get it and taken care of, then that shows a lot about you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does, man. Because it's not easy. It's not an easy course.
No, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. And where'd you go, Angelina?
I went to Angelina College. Yeah.
Same. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
But going back, to that transition, whatever. We talked about this earlier. Is that void in life? You lose that purpose, and like I did well in the Marines, whatever, and stuff like that, and everyone thought I was gonna be a lifer just by the way I acted and the things that I did. But it's just like, man, I don't know, the way the Marine Corps was changing, and I was about to get in trouble a couple of times for like some hazing charges. I'll put it all out there. I'm like, and to me it wasn't hazing, but then I was like, man, I got to get out because this is all I know. And like as far as training guys, because like I thought I was the approachable one. I thought I was the one that these guys could come and talk to. And I was like, man, I got to get out. So I did, but yeah, you lose that purpose. And so did you kind of feel the same way? Did you feel like you lost a purpose when you got out?
I did, because, I go from leading 12, 13 guys on patrols and everything, and I'm in charge of all this equipment, lives. You got such a heavy weight, a heavy burden on you as a young sergeant, corporal, whatever. You're leading all these guys into combat. You got a mission to accomplish. You got a purpose that they give you the mission, give you the warning order, the 5 paragraph order, everything like that. Yeah, they tell you, okay, this is what you got to go do. Go patrol this road, route clearance, whatever. You have that purpose. They tell you what you need to accomplish, and they give you the tools that you need to go do it. And so, and if you don't, you take that initiative to make it happen anyways.
And bro, like you don't, and I never took that lightly, bro. Like that's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
Like, like their lives are literally in your hands, and your decisions that you make are literally life and death to them. And you're doing that as a 20-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I think some people have a hard time realizing that. Like same for me. Like dude, I was. Second deployment, blah, blah, blah. I was about 21. Not 21. I had like 14, 15 Marines, including weapons attachments, and was going on patrols, bro. Like, that's just, it's a lot to fathom. There, like, that's all you know. You're trained to do this and do that. And you think you're just a grown adult, man. You feel like you're 30 years old. Because you have so much responsibility.
And people look at you like, the new guys coming in, they're like, this guy's old, he's seen some stuff, he's got a lot of life experience. But when you think about it, we really don't. All we know is what we've gone over and done, and we may not be more than 3 years older than the guys coming in.
Yeah.
Or even guys that had just graduated, we might be a year older than them. And we're expected to lead these guys and parent them like we're like mom and dad to them. So it's a big responsibility. And then when you lose all that, you're just like, I have no purpose. What do I do?
I know. Because there was no greater feeling than leading Marines, bro.
No.
None. There was no greater feeling. Like, dude, I carried so much pride in that. I loved it, man. I truly did. And, like, I loved my guys. We go to talk about some leadership stuff. Bro, like, to me, my thoughts and, my strong opinion on this is that leadership is founded and based off of love. Genuine love. Like, genuine, I know it's weird to say, but it's just like, it might not be so masculine for me to say, but like, I truly love my men. Like, there is nothing you won't do for somebody you truly love. You know what I mean? And so I kind of, that's how I felt. And so, like, I truly love my guys, and I would do anything that I can to help them, benefit them, or do whatever, keep them alive, man. What is your thoughts on that?
I agree to a certain extent. After I got my first deployment and I got hurt, I told myself, you know what, I'm going to do everything that I can to train whoever comes to me to the best of my abilities and give them the tools that I wish I had or didn't have at the time, or you know, whatever the case may be. Just train them up hard, you know, hard training, you know, hit them up with knowledge all the time. You know, come ask me, I'll tell you. If I don't know it, I'm going to ask somebody that does know it.
Yeah.
You know, take care of them. So it is a little bit about love, because I want.
It's tough love. It's tough love. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
it's tough
tough love. Yes,
It's
because
tough
I
love.
would, you know, you jack
Yeah.
up some dudes sometimes for
Yeah.
acting dumb, or you know, because they mess up. But you know, at the end of the day, on the next deployment, because you could be going overseas to another combat zone, another combat deployment. I don't want to have to tell somebody that I didn't train you hard enough, and you go out and get yourself killed, or you get another guy killed, or me killed.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I agree, man. And yeah, when I talk about love, man, it was tough love, because I was very hard.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You know, because like even down to physical fitness, bro, we did like I used to be big on running, so we did like a 15-mile run. He was a good boot to me. But he ended up having a heat stroke, like a bad one. Like it almost, like literally almost killed him. And so like I had to tone things down a little bit after that.
Yeah.
You know, but it is tough love, because like that's another thing that, you know, that's kind of the reason why I had to get out, was because that tough love is not allowed no more.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't understand it.
But it's a little bit of selfishness as well, because if you've ever lost a guy, or if you've ever seen anybody get hurt, or heard stories about people getting hurt, you don't want to experience that feeling of what it's like to lose a guy or see somebody get hurt, you know. So it's I don't want to feel that. That's what I told myself. I don't ever want to feel the same way I felt after I lost my friend. You know, on my first deployment, I was like, okay, that's not going to happen on my watch. I'm not going to let that happen again.
Yeah,
so
bro.
you train them up.
And bro, like, I know this. Would you be comfortable talking about that story? Because I truly don't even know it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm good
and
with
for
that.
people that don't know, you know, Lee's a Purple Heart recipient, and I've always wondered what the story was, but I've always been kind of too scared to ask you, or I just
No,
didn't.
I mean, as long as it comes from a place of respect and
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
joking around. And I know you
Yes.
would never do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people that don't know. So I mean, I don't talk to people, but I feel comfortable telling you, just because, you know, we've been through some of the same things and stuff like that. You know, combat deployments, you know, Marines. But it was the last patrol, major patrol of our deployment. So we're about to wrap things up. The next Victor unit that was coming in was already on their way in. So we were mopping things up. And for my unit, we were the furthest unit northwest in Iraq, in Al-Qaim, Al-Anbar. So we were like pretty close to the Syrian border, I think a few hours away maybe. So basically all we would do is mount up, and, you know, weapons company, we'd mount up in trucks and stuff, and we'd sweep through, you know, catching people smuggling drugs, weapons, cash, human smuggling, things like that. And we'd sweep through, route clearing, everything like that, and weapons caches. So we were mopping that up. It was the last day. We'd stopped by the river on the Euphrates. We were just searching some houses, you know, checking things out, doing route clearance. And everybody noticed a huge truck going down the road towards our patrol base. So they were heading west on, I can't remember what MSR it was, and I'm drawing a blank here, you know, too many bumps to the head. But so they go down to a wadi, you know, dried creek bed, come back up, and they're going the opposite direction. This time they're hauling back. So we're thinking, all right, something's kind of fishy here. We don't know. So we start taking it slow down the road. Man, everything that I remember from that moment on is kind of fuzzy, or has been secondhand knowledge of what everybody else has told me. So we go down, and immediately, as soon as we go down the wadi, and we're riding in the up armored 7-ton, the Armadillo. Boom, hit an IED down at the bottom of the creek bed, which we should have stopped and checked it out. You know, I've gone through it so many times in my head, but, you know, what happened. It lifts the truck up on its back wheels, blew off the engine block, and I get launched from the turret 20, 30 feet in the air. And I come down, you know, I just remember everything going black, getting hit in the face with something, trying to reach for the handles in the turret, trying to hold on because, we just got hit and I don't see anything. And next thing I do is hit the ground, and then I wake up several moments later and I'm just concussed, got blood dripping down my face. I feel my legs burning. And man, I don't know. The only thing I remember is reaching up, taking my helmet off because I was like, man, this is it. I'm about to die.
Yeah.
I can't see out of my right eye. I got that blood coming down. I could taste the dirt, the sweat, and the blood in my mouth. And I just take my helmet off, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die comfortably because
Yeah.
forget that helmet. And I draw my pistol, put it on my chest, and I'm just sitting there waiting, and I could everything just burning and hurting, and then everything's just a blur
from
after.
there.
Yeah.
And so were you medevaced via helicopter? How far were you from base?
It was 6 hours from the nearest base.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so they just flew you out. So when you started remembering stuff, was you in Germany or were you?
Actually, they didn't fly me back to Germany.
Really?
No, because it was the last month right there. It was October 07. And so I woke up. So I got, funny story, I do remember we got off the helicopter and they start patting me down. And they asked me, do you got any weapons or explosives on you? And I'm half naked. They stripped everything off me. I don't have any flags. I don't have any Kevlar, no guns, anything. I look at the guy that's yelling at me with my good eye, and I'm like, does it look like I got any effing weapons? So I remember that. And then talking to my sergeant, the vehicle commander at the time that was with me in that explosion, they pull him out too, and they start, driving us to the med unit. And it was an Army med unit in what was it, Al Assad.
I got you.
So they took us there, started working us there, CT scans, MRIs, all that good stuff. And I remember they put me off to the side because I guess I wasn't that bad compared to him. I'm just sitting in a hallway, and then the chaplain comes by and starts giving me my last rites. And I told him, I'm not effing dying. So,
Yeah, really?
So get away from me.
Really?
Yeah. So he starts giving me my last rites, and I'm thinking, I'm not dying. I'm not. I'm still here. I still feel everything.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild. And so I know you lost, a good buddy. Was in that same explosion you lost him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
So, well, actually, what happened was he had ended up surviving the initial blast, and so they were clearing the rest of the area out. And so he went back to the truck, and I guess they missed a secondary. He jumped out of the truck and landed on the secondary.
Oh, dude.
So
That's wild.
good dude, good guy. Jeremy Burrs from Liberty, Texas. So
Wow, he's from Liberty, Texas?
Liberty, Texas. And I've met his mom and dad. We've gone down there and spent a lot of time with them. Actually, the last time I saw him, we were in Tulsa because the sergeant that I was with, Chris Abner, he ended up doing the Ironman marathon, and they approached him. It was the Gold Star Foundation approached him and said, "Hey, do you want to run in the Ironman marathon? Because every year they have a veteran run it, and they represent a fallen veteran from any war, I think."
Yeah.
But he ran the marathon in memory of Jeremy. For
That's
that.
awesome, man.
It was great. It was a
That's
great time
awesome.
spending with him and everything.
Like my experience was nothing compared to that. And, and I mean, it's just wild, to be a part of something like that. But, like you have a lot of weight on your shoulders and stuff like that. And, we go to talk about, mental health and stuff. And man, like I still don't think, I have any issues or anything. It's just like, to me, like my problem is just the void I feel in life. Like, it's just like, I'll never be able to go back to Afghanistan. I'll never be able to lead Marines again. And to me, like, that void's there. You have a little bit heavier baggage on you, and kind of like, what do you do to like deal with that?
Honestly, I had some very unhealthy habits that I was doing, just a lot of drinking and just like anger issues, dealing with that because, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't. So I just resorted to what I knew is drinking and just being angry all the time. And unfortunately, it spilled over into my family life, and that cost me that. And so I finally got my act together a few years ago, and I was like, you know what? I can't live like this. I can't do this, because if I want to be the dad that my daughter needs me to be, then I need to get myself right. So, and I was still dealing with everything with the marriage issue and everything like that. So I resorted to going to the VA, trying to get help. And, that's like pulling teeth,
Yeah.
trying to do that. I did that for a little bit, and all they did was like prescribe some pills. And I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm
A zombie.
a zombie all the time. I can't do that. So I stopped doing that. I went back this year, got some help again, and I'm doing that. I'm following up with that. Started talking to a therapist, and that really does help.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's kind of that experience? Yeah, because I mean,
Obviously, you just go in there and tell them, you spill your guts about everything, and then you cry, and then you leave. It's not like that. You just she kind of explains it to you, different situations, your problems, and things like that, in a way you could probably understand and like work through the problems with you. It's like, okay, why am I angry? What's going on? Why am I so hyper vigilant? Explaining it to me is like, well, you've had some traumatic experiences in your life that you've dealt with. So now your body's fight or flight all day long, or, you can't sleep because of this and that. And, she's explained, and she's helped me a lot.
Really?
Work through, a lot through those problems, because I'm sure you have trouble sleeping a little bit.
yeah, I get made fun of a lot for it, but I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's normal. It's
Yeah.
for guys like from our coming from
Bro,
guys that our
I
background.
don't understand it. I don't understand it.
I don't either, and it just happens. It's just your body's so used to being in that situation where it's like that one traumatic experience or several, that now your body's adjusted to be in that fight or flight.
Yeah.
And so she's explained it to me, and I've done exercises and things like that have kind of helped calm me down and just help see things in a better perspective than what I was. So that's
Yeah, and bro, like, we're firemen and we go on bad calls, like,
Yeah.
very bad calls.
yeah.
And do you get help with that as well, or does the calls that you run, as a firefighter or whatever, do they bother you like kind of in the same essence in a way, or does it kind of like completely different? Your brain like processes it completely different, and it puts it on a different side of your brain where it don't maybe not affect you as bad.
I haven't had any calls, hopefully knock on wood, that have triggered anything or caused me to have any kind of episodes or anything like that. I mean, I've been on some calls that were pretty bad, and I'm just like, it doesn't affect me. I'm numb to it, I guess.
Yeah, which there's only one call I think about, it was a SIDS call. It's like, bro, I was like, it was my first shift checked off as a paramedic, and it was baby came in and in cardiac arrest, so we hauled ass over there, and we get there, bro, and as soon as I opened the door to get out, the mom hands me the child, and I just remember doing a quick look, and it was just like, it's already had lividity and stuff like that. It was already dead, bro, but the mom's crying, bawling, and the mother's crying and stuff like that, and just like, I was like, dude, I'm just gonna work it, So
And I think that's the best thing you could do. I mean, mainly for the family at that
Yeah.
point. You already know what's going on. They don't know.
No.
But if they see you working it, then they see, they have that hope that family, that family member is going to make it through it.
yeah, and bro, like I knew the outcome what it was gonna be, but I went through the whole ACLS algorithm for the child, and we IO'd her, we got intubated her, we did CPR and whatnot, and that is like I didn't like cry or anything else like that, about it or whatever, but it's just like it's something like I thought about that call for a long time, and I thought like I wouldn't have that problem, but it was a loop. It threw me for a loop, like I was just like, wow, thank God had some really good, one of my best partners that I've ever had in Longview so far. His name was Kropchuk, man, and he's just like a paramedic guru, and he was there, and he's dealt with some, he's worked cardiac arrest on his own child, and and the dude's just crazy smart, man. And I
that's-
hear the stories about him doing that, and apparently he just did such a phenomenal job, you know. And I'm so glad that he was there with that experience for me, you know, because I guess like you know I didn't freeze up or nothing, but it's only in the fact that you know I think I had the confidence him being with me that I can run that call.
And that's part of the
You
going
know.
back to that leadership thing is like you provide that guidance and that mentorship for the guys that are below you or younger than you.
Yeah.
That helps them to make it through. You know.
Yeah, I agree, man. And that's really the only call, man. Like you know where I worked, bro. Like it's a bigger city, and we run calls like that all the time. And I know y'all do too, because bro, 21 and Highway 7.
Yes.
The wrecks that y'all run are ungodly.
There's so many wrecks.
And not even like minor wrecks, bro. Like
No,
they're bad ones.
Yeah, they're rough.
They're bad ones, you know. And because I volunteer over here, and like I've seen them, and they happen, bro, like often, and you know. But I still enjoy being a fireman because like I couldn't see myself doing anything else, even though like even the shit we see here, like I still find purpose in that.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
running the bad calls I do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, you know, back to whenever I was in the Marines, bro. Like it's just like I get that purpose again. But you know, a lot of times we're not running them badass calls. It's like I feel like I lose my purpose and stuff.
Yeah, you wake up to guy calling again because he's got a headache or something.
Yeah, stubbed his toe or some shit, and it's just like, oh. But that's that's part of the job as well.
Yeah.
But
I think it's those calls that make it all worthwhile to get up and do it all over again.
It is. Yeah, man, 100% it is. But so where station are you at now?
I'm at Station 4.
Station 4?
Yeah, by the high school.
And who are you with?
I have Robbie Anthony as my captain, and Cliff Berry's my driver.
Man, that's a good crew.
Yeah.
That's a very good crew.
They're good.
And so what's kind of y'all's call volume like, you know, on a daily basis?
Really, I think it's not that bad compared to some of the other stations in town, but I mean, we still get a lot of calls as far as like, you know, with the retirement communities over there on the north end, and then we have a lot of nursing homes and things like that. So falls, you know, people sick. The last few, I think a few stations back, or a few shifts back, we've had a couple heart attacks, and we've gotten to work. Yeah, we've gotten to work a few of those. So
yeah, man, we've been seeing like a significant increase in strokes lately. Like a lot of strokes. Like almost every shift we're having a stroke.
Really?
Somebody's stroking out. It's pretty crazy. Y'all know. I mean, everyone's joking around the COVID shot and everything else.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
yeah, it's causing everybody to stroke out.
Yeah. No, but man, going to talk about the job, bro. Like in how it's relation to back in the Marines, bro. Like like I'm a rookie, you know. So like that was a hard transition for me. Like it wasn't hard. Like I didn't give any pushback or anything like that. But mentally, deep down,
Was it hard to follow orders from these guys?
bro?
To be honest,
I'll be honest. Yes, because like you know, like initially, because I didn't really have an understanding behind it, you know, because it's like they've been firemen for a long time and I respect their job, but it's like the people that I used to respect are people with silver stars and like, you know, that's done badass things, you know, which these guys have too, and I love them, man. They are badass firemen, but like it was just like I was oblivious to like what the job actually was. You know, I didn't know what firefighting was. I didn't know like what being a paramedic was. You know, I thought it was, I didn't know it was, you know, like I didn't know anything about it. So it's like when I was coming into this job, you know, I was just like, you're like, man, it's just like you have these. Like, man, it's hard for me to say it. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's just like, you know, people that's my platoon sergeants and everyone else above that, you know, like they've seen some really bad shit and they've done some really cool shit, you know, in combat and stuff. And now I'm coming here and, you know, it's just like, man, I'm trying to say this without being an asshole. It's just like, I did not know what the job was. So it's just like, I didn't think it was credible to that. But now I have a different understanding of it.
Yeah, you're trying to compare apples to oranges here.
Yeah, you know, and it's two different things. And I had to tell myself that it was. Like, it's two different things. These guys are very good and they're highly respected in their job and firefighting and stuff like that. And I had to separate these guys. It's two different things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
One thing I think that I told myself is humble yourself.
Yeah.
Real quick, right off the bat, go in, act like you don't know jack. And soak up every little bit of piece of knowledge that they give you.
Yeah.
You know, from where where are the gloves at? You know, checking your gear. How are you supposed to check the gear? You know, and I always told myself that, you know, going into the job, it's like, that's the first thing I need to do, and be respectful and listen to them. You know, they might be silly, the person that's telling me, but they probably got a lot more experience than I know. And they're telling me for a reason, you know?
Yeah. And I agree, man, I do the same thing. I had to humble myself tremendously, tremendously. And because it was just something that I didn't know I would experience going into firefighting. I didn't know I would experience those feelings. And so I had to completely separate the Marine Corps stuff, and I had to start my life over again, firefighting. And when I did that, like I was slid right into it. You know, I'm the new guy watching stuff, doing everything I need to do with no problems. And I still have no problems doing it. I love doing it because I know my place.
Yeah.
And I was able to, you know.
And I think that's what a lot of guys going into this think. It's like, okay, you're off probation, or you're no longer a rookie. You know, you kind of forget, hey, you still don't have as much experience or as many calls as these other guys. You know, 12, 15, 20 years in, you know, what they have. Listen up, soak it all in, because I'm always asking questions. I don't know everything.
Bro, I swear my cat and my buddy Trent probably hate me, and Sandy and Robert, because I ask questions out the ass. Bro, I never shut up asking. When I'm not talking shit, I'm asking questions. Just because they're all very intelligent people, and they know the job very well, and they're always people I can go to ask questions about it, you know, because I'm very inexperienced at this.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't want to fail them in any way. So I want to ensure that I'm the guy that they need to have on their team.
One guy I think that you work with, I think he works in one of you. I'm very positive. Dusty.
Oh, yes.
Dusty.
Yes.
I went on deployment with
Dusty Burks?
Yeah, Dusty Burks.
Man, he's an awesome individual.
So smart. And so I learned so much from him on that one deployment that I went on with him earlier this year.
Yeah, so he's on my shift. He's our training officer. I highly respect that man.
Yeah.
Highly respect that man.
The guy's very smart. So whenever we had questions as a group or individually, you know, that he would be one of the guys that we'd ask that when he was around. So I love that guy to death.
Bro.
Awesome. I would definitely work with him any day of the week.
Oh man,
definitely.
he's awesome.
Yep.
And man, there's a lot like, you know, especially on A shift, because I can speak on A shift, but like our leadership, our captains, our drivers, our firefighters, there's a lot of experience in there, and they're like very good. They care about their job a lot.
Yeah.
And man, that's essentially, you know, like I'm very proud to be like in that group, because like the cool thing on A shift is to be the guy that's very engaged, very smart at their job, and want to be the best at their job. That's the cool thing, you know. And at other departments and other places, you know, it's not like that. You know, like the cool thing to do is go sit in recliners and be kind of the outcast, you know, creating friction with the people that do want to be good. Like being good at other departments is like, you know, kind of the minority.
Yeah.
And
there are people that just want to do that and just chill and not, you know, they come to work and then that's all they want to do. But that's fine. But I think sometimes as well, and I fail at this a lot too, is not having the initiative to go out and do some kind of training yourself, you know.
And I do too. Like there's days where I should be out there training and stuff, but I get a little lazy, man.
Yeah.
I get a little lazy because, you know, I have the opportunity to be lazy.
I will say that I love the crew that I'm with, because we, you know, we always PT every shift. We always PT, and you know that's a little training there too, because you have to have that endurance, that strength to go in.
Absolutely.
You know, you going into a house or something, or you got to cut working tools on a wreck. You know, those tools are pretty heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you got to have that physical endurance and strength to go ahead and do all that.
I agree. And also, like, you know, PT and working out together with your boys, bro, that's camaraderie.
Yeah. Same thing in the military, man. It's like you get back from patrol, and what are you going to go do? You're going to eat, and you're going to go work out, maybe stand guard, come back, sleep, repeat.
Exactly, bro. And it's just like, man, dude, I love, you know, at our second deployment, whatever. Our first deployment, we didn't get to work out that much, but our second one, we had a little gym at our fob, whatever. And, bro, I'd be out there busting out Suicide Boys. There's two people I listen to when I work out, Suicide Boys and Drake. That's it. That's it. It'd be like if I'm feeling sad, listen to Drake. If I'm feeling like I want to kill somebody, listen to rocking Suicide Boys. But man, that was some good PT times, bro. Just out there. Anytime I'm working out with my friends, man, it's just I really enjoy it. And sometimes, you know, we have days where we don't work out, you know, because it's just busy, man. We might be on our 20th call in the med unit,
right?
An engine might be on their 15th call. because it's just one of those days. But and those days happen a lot.
And y'all's call volume's a lot higher than ours, I
Oh
think.
yeah, we average. I don't know what we average now. This month's been kind of a little bit slower compared to others, and I did not expect that. But it's still up there. You know, we're still constantly busy, but it's good calls. Like man, last shift I was telling you, man, we had 2 codes back to back, and the third one that came in, we didn't have to work it. But like as soon as we brought her into the hospital, she coded.
Man,
I don't know. It's craziness, man.
yeah. It always comes in threes too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
And that morning, you know, I was joking around and stuff like I normally do, talking shit. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have 3 codes today. And sure enough.
You're that guy.
I'm that
you're,
guy.
You're that guy.
Oh, bro, I have to be that guy.
You speak it and you will it into the universe, and it happens.
I do. And like when I was at Station 6, we had our fire marshal or whatever. I was like, I'd go in there, man, I hope we get a fire today. Because I knew I wasn't going to go to it, Station 6. We just didn't find much fire or whatever. I knew I wasn't going to, but he had to write these long reports for it. I'm like, man, I hope we get a fire today, just so you have to write a report. Sure enough, one dropped. Man. And he'd be so mad. He got to the point where he was like legitimately getting mad. Like he's not even joking and getting mad. Like he's legitimately getting mad. And so like it was hilarious. But Lisa, going on, let's talk more about our transition and actually no, let's talk about brotherhood. So like being where you're at now, do you feel like kind of the same brotherhood that you felt like when you was in the Marines, or like do you feel like one bond is tighter than the other? Or do you feel like they're kind of the same?
They're similar in some aspects, and they differ greatly in other areas. Because obviously I come to work here at the fire department. No one's trying to kill me or shoot at me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
hasn't got to that yet.
And we don't have that constant training that we're always doing with the you're always training. Every day is training in the Marines, whether you're doing mock patrols or, you got classes as far as, weapons or things like that. You have those shared hardships, and you have those too in the fire department, but they're different. You're training to go to war, and you're training to go take someone else's life. That's a little different, as far as, I come to work here.
You come to save lives.
I'm coming to save a life.
Yeah.
So it's two ends of the spectrum here.
Is. Man,
and so being close to the guys that I shared those horrible experiences with, I don't think I'm ever going to find that brotherhood with anybody else, as far as being that tight, coming close to death so many times with all these other guys. And now I'm here. And you could possibly do that too. You go into a fire with somebody and, you house collapse or wall collapse, now you're trapped inside or something like that. But I think those hardships, they're different, because I know for a fact if I needed help at the house with anything like that, I got a friend I can call, my captain. He'll come and help me. Or another captain, Jody Chandler, I have a question about electrical stuff on cars. He's going to help.
He's so funny.
So funny. Nicest dude ever.
Oh,
nice.
I love him.
Nicest dude ever.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. He's good to go, man. Smokes like a freight train. But
he's funny. But man, I agree with you there. Because and also you're not living with these guys. Like, when you're in the Marines, you're physically living with them. Oh, you was married, so you probably wasn't in the barracks.
Yeah. Before I wasn't married till the last year I was in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just like that barracks life is just different. Like, cause you don't, bro, like that's literally all you have. You don't go home to your wife. You don't go home to your wife and kids or whatever you got.
All you got is the guys that you're in the platoon with, or the guys from other platoons.
Yeah.
And I could just go in, barge in. He's in there, I don't know, playing video games, or another one's just working out, whatever.
Oh, bro,
I'm just shooting the shit with he's no more than 15 feet away down the hallway.
Bro, I'd walk in rooms and my buddy's in there having sex, and I just go sit in the chair next to him, just minding my own business till they get done.
Hey, when you get done, you want to go eat.
I was just like, you're just that close, just, and it's, but like my crew now, I think we actually are we're getting closer than I expected. That culture that they radiate at 1A is like it's really helping me a lot, a lot mentally. It's just because they strive, they're desperate for that brotherhood. They're desperate for it.
Yeah.
So it's.
I do see that in the fire service. It's like guys aren't close to one another with their crews and stuff like that, or they have they're not jiving because
Yeah,
You
and
know,
some
they're
are like
completely
that.
different mentalities and personalities.
Bro, it'd be hard. It'd be mentally hard for me to be at a station like that. Thank God mine isn't, bro. Like my guys are hungry for that brotherhood and that culture to be, that brotherhood
Yeah.
foundation. And I really enjoy that because mentally, I don't know. Like if I'd be able to take, I go to work and they all hate each other and they all go to their rooms, do their own things.
Right.
But even my other, when I was at Station 6, it was the same thing, man. We're always hanging out. We're always talking. We're always conversating. There was no that kind of that diversity that you just kind of do your own thing. There's none of that. And we were always engaged with each other and, striving for that brotherhood. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, because during like the transition and everything, trying to work through the problems, my captain was actually the one that actually was like, you know what, I see you having trouble. He talked to me, pulled me aside. He's like, I know you got a lot going on. Why don't you come to church with me? And he's the one that got me going to church, and that whole transition. When I was kind of skeptical because the whole after what I've seen, it's kind of hard to be like, I believe and all this like that, and just so I tried it out. First few times, the first one I didn't like it because he was like, "This is not the regular pastor. Please come back." The regular one, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
He's funny and he explains it. I gave it another shot like after a month or so, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll come back." And thoroughly enjoyed it. Went back and kept going back. That year, I think it was October 11th of 2020. I got baptized, and
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it. Thank you. And I was just like, you know what? I really enjoy it, and I know some people are just different points of view.
Yeah.
They don't believe or believe. I like taking in the lessons. What does it pertain to me personally?
Yeah.
In the struggles that I have in my life, or the joys, and how am I relating to any of these stories and the sermons that he's preaching.
And bro, like, I'm glad you brought this up because emotionally, I'm going through the hardest time of my life because my grandpa that I'm very, very, very close to, like I look at him as a dad, has got terminal cancer, and bro, when I first found out, bro, I took it hard, bro. Like I mean, literally, man, my wife has never seen me cry, but she seen me cry like a baby that day.
Yeah.
And my good friend Casey came to come check on me and stuff, and he seen me crying like a baby. My buddy Casey's been there through thick and thin, and so I called my other buddy that was in the Marines with Haran, the crazy one, and told him about it, and he was very comforted me. But like, man, that's been the most troubling time of my life over everything else, is seeing someone you love so much go through that, knowing that they're going to die. So, man, I wasn't as close to God as I should be. I always believed in Jesus and stuff, but I'd never practiced it, nor I guess you could say I truly believed it. But that I went to him looking for peace and comfort through all this, and I found it. I truly did. Now, like I look at it in a whole different perspective. It's been good. It's been a really tough time, but also like I've done some real deep reflecting on my life and the things that I've done, and because even like growing up, I was not the easiest kid. I was troubled. Like with drugs and everything else. And I had awesome parents. It's just that I was just that kid.
Right.
But going through this, when like when God does things for a reason, I have to view this as that He did this for me to get close to Him, and finding peace and comfort in life is the only way I found it was through Him.
Right.
Even I'll leave it even after deployment. My first one, I got, bro, it was bad. Like doing drugs and stuff. Like bad. And drinking bad, and because there's just things you see you just don't know how to articulate and stuff like that,
Right,
and it's
right.
just like, then I let that go on for so long until like where I met my wife. My wife literally saved me because I quit drinking, quit doing drugs, like cold turkey, and she got me on the straight and narrow. Then whenever my grandpa, and I was getting closer to God once I met my wife, but whenever my grandpa went through this deal, I really got close.
Right.
And that's kind of a cold factor that no one likes to talk about. It's like after you get back from deployment and stuff like that, people think these Marines are, like living, they're just perfect. But like, bro, like the drug use and stuff in the Marine Corps is pretty bad.
It is.
It's very bad. And I can speak on it because I was one of them. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Probably some of them guys just need, help talking to and stuff like that, but the culture of the Marines is to be a tough ass motherfucker. And,
Yeah.
you know, and
You got all these type A personalities, and they don't know how to cope or deal with the emotions of what they've done and seen. And so now, how do they do that?
yeah, cool.
Alcohol, drugs.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Because it's the staff sergeants, the sergeant majors. Those are the ones, they're killing themselves just as much as the guys down here. You know, they're all killing themselves,
Right.
Because you know the things that they've been through, and it's not one a group to another.
Yeah.
Even like
It's not rank specific.
No.
You know, it's not all the E4 Mafia and the Lance Coolies and stuff that are just killing themselves. It's not just
bro,
them. You know,
it's not, man. And actually, if you go look at the statistics behind it, it's that the retired guy that gets out, he's the one that's killing himself. You know, it really they're more heavy than the others. It's because like, bro, they dedicated their life to an organization. They get out and like they've been, because the Marine, like your problems, you can mask your problems in the Marine Corps.
Right.
You know, you can run from your problems in the Marine Corps. When you get out, it's where you can't run from them
Yeah.
no more because there's no one to run to. Like you can run to your buddies, you can go party, you can go drink and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, you have such a strong brotherhood with your guys. You know, you can run to them for things and hide it by doing the things y'all love to do. But when you get out, you don't have them no more, and now you have to. You're by yourself.
I think that's kind of where they fail at as an organization is how do we help these guys transition out instead of, you know, they got all these leadership skills. We teach them how to be amazing at their job, you know, warriors, you know, combat veterans. How are we going to teach them now to go back into society and be productive citizens, healthy?
Oh, I agree. And dude, it's like, as we talk about this, you know, like getting out is also a thing something I had problems with. Like, no one understands whatever. You have to, when I got out, I had to tell myself, no one else gives a shit. No one gives a shit what you've done. No one gives a shit.
Yeah,
You know, in your Marine Corps, no one just gives a shit. So as soon as you can think of that, I was able to start functioning in society. You know, not because I guess you get out, you have a little bit of an ego, or you just don't understand why people don't see, like, you know, what's going on in other areas of the world, and so it makes you angry. And
No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares. No, you know. And I'll say some care what you're going through.
No,
like,
yeah,
you know,
they do. I mean, there's people they care to a certain extent.
Yeah, but and outside of that, man, once I told myself that, I was able to like kind of let a lot of things go, you know. But and as far as that, you know, nothing really else to speak on.
And I would go as far as to saying it's not their fault.
No, it's not.
It's not their fault. So the audience knows that it's not like the veterans are going out and it's like, oh, why don't you care about us, or why don't, you know? It's like they don't care to a certain extent, and they do care to a certain extent.
Yeah,
it's like
I agree.
They care because you served and what you've done. They're thankful for it, but that's as far as it goes. You know, they don't really.
You can't expect them to be on their hands and knees begging. For
Yes,
them,
exactly.
You know,
There you
begging
go.
for you to
That's-
understand. You
that's-
know, like, you can't expect them to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you want them to do. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to sit here and praise me for everything that I've done. You know? It's not like that.
It's not like that.
It's
no.
not like that.
And I really don't want to tell people that. Like normal people, like when they come up, it's like, oh, hey, you served? Yeah, I served. And
Yeah,
that-
I'm the same way, bro. And that's always the question. Thank you for your service. What's your response?
my response to that is thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. And I think mine. I say I'm thankful I'm thankful that I was able to do it. I'm thankful that that's what I normally say.
I just thank them. I thank them for saying that because they took the time out of their day to appreciate the service.
Yeah, because there's some people that don't. Some people hate you.
Yeah.
Some people hate me. You know, especially now in this world or that we live in. You know, like Vietnam experienced it. You know, now we're kind of experiencing it with other organizations like Antifa and stuff like that. Like, there's, you know, a group out there that literally hates veterans.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but I'm not losing any sleep over tonight.
Me neither. Am I.
Well, Lee, I want to like open the floor up to you. What you want to talk about?
Man.
Because you're a very, very intelligent guy, and you're always somebody I really respected. It's not because of the things you've done. You've just always been a good person. You know, like you're not ever a person that talks bad about nobody. You're always a person that's always positive. And you might not always be feeling positive, but every time I've had an experience with you, you have been positive.
I can tell you I don't feel positive all the time.
I imagine you wouldn't.
No.
I don't either.
But honestly, man, there's really not much. I just like when you asked me to come on this, I was like, really, you want to talk to me. Of all people, there's nobody more qualified, or
No, bro.
more somebody more well spoken than I.
Bro, you always been like somebody I really respected, and like I didn't plan on doing it today by no means, and I was just like, and you told me that you said you're off today. I'm like, bro, he's implicating he could do this today, and I'm like, let's run it. And so I was in the gym working out at the gym in town and whatever, and I was like, this is gonna be awesome. Then I immediately texted Blaze. I'm like, bro, we're gonna have an awesome podcast tonight.
Yeah.
And I called my buddy that I was in the Marines with because Fucks, he owns he's partial owner of this business as well, and is somebody I was really good friends with in the Marines. His name's Fuchs, but we call him Fucks. Obviously, that's where he got the name. Like even on his name tag in the Marines, he has Fucks. Bro, but he's just he was some like in my clique that I have my group of friends. He was it was me, Haran, Fucks, and Anshan first. Then we had some other people come in like Rocky and stuff later on.
Right.
And but yeah, he's a big player in this company. Man, he's always like keeps us where we need to be, keeps us motivated. He does all the graphics and stuff on the computer and whatnot. He's a big help. I couldn't do it without him.
Cool.
But no, man, I was just extremely excited, that you'd come on because like you've done a lot in your life, and I value your life a lot, and I've always looked up to you. And so like, and I was thinking about having you on. I was like, man, I wonder when he'd be able to. And I didn't think you'd want to because I know how shy you are.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna ask him.
It's different if I'm talking in front of a bunch of people. Now, I mean, I probably won't watch it.
Yeah.
But no, man.
You don't have to watch it, but
no, I'll watch it and just to see,
But I just know how shy you are, and you're just a very, just a humble person. But
I don't know. It's just the way I grew up, man. Because my brother.
Yeah.
We talk. We're complete opposites. He's over here on this spectrum. Really likes talking to people. He enjoys being around people. I'm over here. I like being my alone time. Quiet and not messing with anybody. Peace.
Yeah. So Lee has a daughter. So Lee, tell us about what you do with your kids and stuff on your off days.
Oh man, I have my daughter. Pretty much most days that I'm off. So a typical day when she's in school is I'll go pick her up. We'll talk about like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She has right now she's in Little Dribblers, little basketball league.
Where'd she go to school?
She goes to Woden.
Oh, Woden.
Yeah. So we'll go to practice around 5 and end at 6. Come home, she'll eat dinner. We'll do homework, and I'm really want her to excel. So I'm really trying to step up my game. I'm trying to find the words of how to say it. It's just like be present in her studies. That's awesome. And make sure she's needs to be, or she's where she needs to be.
I got you.
Because we found out earlier this year that she might be dyslexic, so we're going through the school to get help to really try and help her with that and deal with that.
Yeah, that's just a thing, dude. My buddy, he's got dyslexia, but he's going to be rolling up here pretty soon. Mm-hmm. He's hunting tomorrow, but he's dyslexic. He's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah,
very. So
she's super smart.
Yeah. Like people think you're dyslexic. They think that you have Down syndrome or something, but it's not.
No,
it's not the case. They treat you as such.
That learning disability, it's just they mix things up.
Yeah.
And the best way that I could put it is that her brain is wired differently to look at things a certain way. Mm-hmm. And so we found the school is actually really helpful in getting us the help. Yeah, they're awesome. Especially your teacher. We're very fortunate to get a teacher this year that really noticed that and kind of pushed to get her the help that she needs. And so she's doing really well. So at the beginning of the year, we were struggling. I was like, what am I doing wrong as a parent? Because I look at it, I'm like, her success is my success and her failure is my failure because I'm the parent.
Absolutely.
I'm the dad, And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like going to bed at night, I'm like thinking, holy God, what do I need to do? Am I not teaching her right? Because she's not a Lance Corporal or a PFC, that I could yell at, and just, that I could be like, here, you're doing it wrong, PT her because she's messing up. No, I had to really, and that was part of the problem that I was having is transitioning too, because that spilled over into my family life.
Really?
Like, yes, it was bad because I was getting angry with things, like little things would bother me, because I was really structured in the way things had to be.
Oh, me too. And
I having children, you have to be flexible, and you have to be a little more forgiving of things. Patient. Yes. Thank you. Patience. I've learned that a lot more. I didn't have any whatsoever, and I'm dealing with her, and I'm like thinking, what am I doing wrong? I've got to change this, because otherwise she's not going to succeed, and all she's going to know is the man that I used to be. And so I had to change that rapidly, and that's what kind of kickstarted not only her, but the marriage thing. I had to kickstart everything going into changing myself to do that and working with her.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the typical day with her, is just like doing things that help her to be more successful in school.
And so like, man, I experienced the same as like I'm still bad about it. Like little things I don't have the patience for, I get aggravated. Time's one of them. My whole day is on a time block. And it drives my wife crazy.
It is. It's like they gunny time you the whole time in the Marine Corps. It's like 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior. And that's the way I was. I had to be, we got to be here. We got to be here. Let's leave now so we can get there at least 15 minutes early. And we're there. Because I don't want people waiting on me.
No, hell no. Because, time's something you never get back.
Yeah.
But let's talk about fatherhood, bro. Like, because I know you and your daughter are very, very close.
Very, yeah.
And, I know she's your life and everything about it. How is it?
It's
what would you describe fatherhood?
Man, it's a roller coaster of emotions.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of proud moments and a lot of just like scared moments too for myself. It's like when she first went to school, it's like, how is she going to be with these kids? Like, who's dad going to have to whoop this kid's dad because they're messing with my kid? You know? But it's just really, man, to me, being a dad is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I've learned so much about myself. She's helped me more than I've helped her.
Really?
Yeah. And that kid, oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want you to get emotional.
No. It's just, no, I love her to death.
Yeah.
Love her to death. And that's saying a lot, because I didn't want kids initially, just because of the fact, we talked earlier, all I wanted to do was deploy and stuff. And now that I'm a dad, I'm so blessed and happy that I got out when I got out, and that I decided to get out for her sake, because no telling how many birthdays, I would have missed, or, whatnot, little special moments for her that really I don't really mean that much, that are not that big, but to her they mean a lot.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I did not want to go to the Veterans Day program at her school. I did not want to go. But she had asked about me. And then a friend asked about me going. And I was like, oh, God. That's the second person that's asked, So now I gotta make an appearance. So I actually ended up taking a few hours off that day to go and
That's good,
go to
man.
the veterans
Because
program.
she's proud of you, dude.
Oh,
she your daughter's.
She doesn't know that, but she doesn't know what I did or anything like that.
But she's proud that her daddy's a Marine.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah. And she always comes up, and I don't know where I didn't teach her this. She always comes up and, like, when I call her, it's like, come over here, we got to do this or whatever. She comes up and salutes. It's like, we don't salute indoors. We don't salute indoors. No.
That's hilarious. I bet you she's cute as a button.
No, man, she's great.
No, that Veteran Days thing, oh yeah, no one ever wants to go to them.
No,
Besides the people that, like, I hate to say this, but the people that, that's done so much in their career, they love to get up there and get saluted and stuff.
No, me, I'd rather stay out of the limelight. And
yeah, I agree. But what are some challenges you've had with fatherhood?
Man, right now it was just consistency. It's being consistent with her, especially now.
What do you mean by that?
It's like, because the living situation with her, she lives a few days with her mother, and then she comes back to my house, and then we, there's different sets of rules. She likes doing things one way, and I like doing them a different way. We co-parent very well. We do good with her. Whenever she wants to go to see her mother and things like that, that's that's not a problem.
That's good.
Or when she wants to come over and see me and spend some time with me, that's perfectly fine. Even though the day's not mine or hers, then, just that consistency. So, okay, so she needs to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night, 2100 for those military types.
Yeah.
But she knows she comes back, she gets out of school. If she's hungry, she eats, and then we do homework. We work together. We read, work on spelling words, all that stuff. Any work she needs to do from school, we do that and get it out of the way. And then she has the rest of the afternoon to work on whatever she wants to do. play, we hang out, we go outside, we might go get ice cream, things like that. But it's just having that structure for her. And I want her to have that because, if God forbid I'm not there for her one day and she has something to fall back onto.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A little bit of discipline, a little bit of structure.
That's awesome. Yeah, being a girl dad, how is that? Playing with dolls and having tea parties and stuff like that?
Honestly, it's a lot of fun.
Really? Oh, man, I bet you it is awesome. Me and my wife are still debating on having kids or not. I think we're just so selfish with our time right now that we just don't even think
Honestly,
about it.
I think you should wait. I mean, enjoy that time with your wife and go do the things, travel, go see things, do things alone together and appreciate one another and grow together a little bit more before you start having to give someone else your attention and time.
Yeah, bro, I'm not ready for that, dude. I'm so selfish with my time. Because, like, we're having this going. I got different things going. Like, I'm always just not eating nothing. And it's selfish of me to say this. I just don't want to give that up right now. I'm just not ready
it's perfectly fine, yeah. And that's a life choice that you and your wife had to figure out, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be like, this is what I'm going to dedicate my time to, and I like it. I like not when I get done with the fire department, I work one day, I get 2 days off, and those 2 days are dedicated to her, my daughter.
Keeps you busy.
It is, and it's awesome. It's tiring sometimes driving her back and forth from practices and games and things like that, but you know what? It's worth it.
Is that their basketball team? They're pretty good this year.
Actually, they haven't started any games yet.
Really?
They've just been practicing right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, that's right. Little Dribblers, what? It starts in December? It should be coming up, huh?
It should be coming up.
I got you. What are some other things? Did she play like softball?
Softball.
Really?
So we got done with softball, I think in August or September. September we got done with softball.
Mm-hmm. So more about fatherhood. And so we talked about challenges and stuff like that, and how am I going to word this? So I've always, you get scared of like what life is going to be like whenever you might not be. Okay, I'll go ahead and lay it out. So I'm scared to have kids.
Just say it bluntly.
Yeah, So I'm scared to have kids in the essence because like there'll be one day I won't be able to take care of them, especially with the world that we see where it's going to. Like that terrifies me. And like, what are some things that you like would do to like prep somebody for that? Like it's such a dark thing to think about, because you see it, what the world and what's going to, and there's a lot of things that you don't want influxed on your kids that's happening. And I don't know, it worries me bad. And that's a real big reason why I don't want to have kids. Mm-hmm. And so like, man, what's your thoughts on that? Because I have no answers to
really, I try not to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because all it's going to do is just drive me crazy because I can't control those things. Mm-hmm. I really can't. Myself, I cannot control all those things that are happening. Wars, politics. I could vote, and that only changes so much. If somebody else, like-minded, votes the same way, we all get together and vote, and but how long does that last? A few years.
Yeah.
Right?
Or it
so
don't last or it don't work.
Yeah, right. But I really just try and focus on like what can she do for herself? What can I teach her that she can rely on? So be self-resilient, disciplined, flexible, teaching her life skills that I didn't have when I was little. Mm-hmm. Teaching her things that, someone might be like, girls don't know that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, she knows how to change her own tire. So,
yeah.
Or whatever. A lot of fathers are teaching their girls that.
They have to, bro. Because like the men generation here, like I swear the next 10 years, there's going to be guys that don't know how to change tires. There's going to be a generation there already is, of like people my age that don't know how to do anything. Nothing. And so
check the oil.
When neither one of them know how to do it, what kind of situation you're going to be in?
Right.
That's awesome that you're doing that.
So obviously she's not going out there and checking my oil and checking tire pressure, but as she gets older, I can start teaching her things like that. Mm-hmm. So she's not relying on someone else.
Bro, and I'm glad that. Don't think about it. And bro, I'm already driving myself crazy about that. I don't even have kids yet.
Right.
So I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do, just not think about it.
And once if you do decide to have kids, I think it's your focus is more on them than all the crap that's happening out there. It's just like,
it don't
it's
matter.
happening so far away, like Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
I can't control that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. It really doesn't affect her that much, and the big picture of things in her life, because right now all she cares about is LOLs, tablets, going to school and hanging out with friends and things like that. No, right now we're just worried about, can she dribble down the court?
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Well, Lee, but I don't have anything else, my man. Is there any, you want to wrap it up or?
Man, I appreciate you asking me because, I was, like I said, I was like, there has to be someone more prestigious than I that can
No,
come
man.
out but I really thank you for the opportunity to come out
man,
and talk about everything.
You deserve it, man. Yeah, like I said, man, I highly respect you and everything else, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you got to hold yourself higher than that.
No,
'Cause
it's
there's a
not
lot of
that.
value.
It's just like the whole mindset of just trying to stay humble a little bit.
Yeah, I understand, but like, man, there's everything you said today. I feel like it's gonna be one of our best videos because stuff that need to be said and stuff like that, and people are really gonna enjoy listening to this. And man, it's just an honor that you came in here and talked to me because I did not think you was gonna come. I wouldn't even think you'd even give it the idea just because I know how shy you are.
Yeah, I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Cool, dude. Well, we'll wrap that up, guys. That was episode 2 of TBM with Lee Mendez. Give us a like and follow on YouTube. It's gonna be on Spotify and Apple. So give us a like, bro. Appreciate it, dude.
Yep.
Thank you, my man.